More bad news.
Well, if you were looking for bad news, you came to the right place. This is the Doom and Gloom channel, aka the Gastlecast, aka the people that are only negative, never positive, according to people on Twitter/X. I like that it's called X because I sort of want to treat it like an X and never talk to it again.
Yeah, people are hardcore mean on X.
Yeah, about everything.
They said that I had a small on X.
Hands?
No.
Kneecap? Belly button? Do you mean penis? Or wiener? Well, how would they know?
I don't know how they know. That's what's worrying me. Anyway, we have bad Funko news. Months and months and months ago, actually probably years now, we came on here and told you about Funko layoffs. So today, one of our Funko insiders reached out to us to let us know that Funko had another layoff today.
Yep, another round of layoffs, not just a layoff.
Now this affects apparently 10% of the workforce. I'm told that 100 people most likely are affected by this layoff. Now, I have no idea who is affected, like their job title. Are they artists? Are they people who do the marketing? I don't know who's affected by all of this. It's sad to hear it, no matter who it is.
And it makes me wonder, why are they doing this? Is it because they want to bring new people in because they were unhappy with those people? Is it because they're trying to shave off some money so that they look better to their shareholders, so that they make more money even though they're letting valuable people go? What is the purpose of them laying people
Reduction
off?
in force. They're getting rid of people because most likely they no longer can afford them. In their quarterly report, it actually had an output that sounded more positive. So it wasn't talking about how horrible they were. In fact, we were going to do an episode about that. And we may do an episode later talking about that. I put all of what was said during that report or that quarterly into AI and had it tell me in layman's terms what everything meant, and I started reading through it and I was like, oh my god, this will actually make sense to the audience. But if that is showing a positive outcome, why is there a reduction in force? So it tells me that there are issues over at Funko. I don't think Funko is ever going to be the same.
I don't think so either. I think they're gearing more towards being a toy company rather than a collectible company, which we've been saying for a very, very long time. I feel like they want to be like Hasbro or Mattel.
A very good point that was brought up by our inside source. They basically said they're not sure why Cynthia Williams was chosen for the CEO position. And the reason why is the history with Wizards of the Coast. And there were layoffs there as well. So it almost seems like it's our MO. We have begged and begged and begged Funko about going back to the good old days. What are the good old days? Limited pieces, fun events, making the con exclusive sticker the only sticker. Do not put them in stores. I feel like you definitely need to have a clear separation between the two.
For sure.
I also think that Funko.com needs a lot more excitement in terms of having pieces that are limited numbers. If anybody was around during the Toucan Sam days, remember that time. And if you don't remember that time, people were literally breaking their computers to get their hands on these limited number Toucan Sam figures.
Yes, and Chris is actually going to link down below a really silly skit that we did with our friends that shows what the internet was like that day for the Toucan Sam drop. It's going to appear exaggerated to you if you're a new collector especially, but it's not. People were freaking the fuck out.
Fun fact, my friend actually threw a chair in the video and damaged my wall. A lot of you who watch our content or watch it every once in a while when we're talking about something completely dramatic will basically battle with us and tell us, you guys are too negative. Why do you have to talk about this stuff on your channel all the time? And it's clickbait. We have been talking to you guys about real life scenarios with Funko. We've been talking about this for years.
Yeah.
Back even when things were okay, but slowly faltering and going downhill.
We saw it.
We saw that coming. We talked about this. I'm not going to say that we're fortune tellers or we know the future, but we could just see where things were going. Funko was focused on making too much of their product. When the pandemic hit, that is when things went really off the rails because they saw a lot of product was selling, not realizing, or maybe they were realizing or capitalizing on people getting those checks from the government. And they were spending all their money on collectibles because they were sitting at home and had nothing else to do. Funko decided, well, people are buying stuff, so let's make more of it. And that was the demise of Funko. Now, they have become a billion-dollar business. They have shown their shareholders that they can sell a lot of product and make a lot of money. Now the shareholders are like, where's all that money at, bro? Now that Funko is a billion-dollar business, I don't even know if they can do the things that we're suggesting. Yeah. That's the problem. I don't think Funko can become Funko, big Funko, ever again. I think it's over. Not only with everything I just said. No more Funmaker Mike. Brian Mariotti was like killing it over there. Even though we said a lot of things on the channel about Brian Mariotti and his handling of Funko, I believe he was the catalyst as to why Funko did so well. And we just did not see it because it got to a corporate place. He was being told and forced to do things that he did not want to do.
That's my guess too, especially with the layoffs and stuff that happened, because a lot of that did happen under him being CEO. But again, it all goes back to them going public in 2017. So they were basically having to impress these people who have invested into their company. So was it him? I don't know. Was it their shareholders? I don't know. All I can do is speculate, and at the time, we thought it was him. Looking at it, it really could just be because they are public. That seems like where the beginning of the end was. And we got a little bit off topic, but you mentioned, people say we're negative and stuff. If people take us sharing this news that is very much going on at Funko as negative, maybe we're not the negative ones. Maybe Funko is producing negative things.
That's a very good point. But then there's also people who say we're lying, we don't know what we're talking about, and we don't have insider sources. But we prove time and time again that we know people, they give us information, and that's what we do here. We share that information.
Yeah, so suck it, nerds. Anyway, back to the video.
So it's sad that all this is happening, and of course, back to the comment from the insider about Cynthia Williams. I'm sort of in agreement. I'm not really sure why they chose her, and I don't know if they know that she's somebody that can come in and sort of tighten things up. And look, I don't know Cynthia Williams well, and I don't really know much about her history with these other companies. I only know what I read in articles. Maybe she's the type of person who goes and brings life back into the companies that are having a really hard time.
Maybe
and she finds ways in which to do that. It's just showing you that Funko is having a hard time. Yeah. They're struggling, and they want to go back to being what they once were, but they can't because they're missing all the vital pieces, like the people that I had mentioned that were there previously, the artists that they had there, and much more. And also, people being excited about Funko.com. When was the last time you heard somebody being excited about Funko.com? I mean, there have been anime chases. Terrifier, but anime chases have happened, but it's very few and far between. It used to almost feel like every other week there was something special that's dropping on Funko.com. And another thing that Funko should be doing is dropping things on the website at random. Remember when we didn't even know things were happening and you would just stumble upon it?
Yeah.
The Blacklight Ghost Rider figure. Mm-hmm. That was one that it just randomly popped up, and I was lucky enough to obtain it. That was the good old days. These were the great things. And I don't know how they can bring that same harmony back. I can't, I personally just can't see it. If they cut the numbers
and made collectors excited again, they're now trying to appease the masses versus the collectors. And the collectors are really what breathed life into Funko. I mean, their shit was selling out so fast because people wanted it for their collection, and then you had this other group of people who wanted to flip it. So it would sell out and it would be sought after, and people would be bitching, oh my god, I didn't get it, and people would be celebrating, oh my god, I got it. Flexor. Yeah, people would go into Facebook groups or on Instagram and they would flex that, oh my god, I got it. This is so great. And then other people would be like, oh my god, I wish I got it. And that's what you want more of. You do.
You want more people saying that they didn't get it, because that's what causes hype. That's what gets people excited. That is what starts that fire in their belly. That's what you need. And Funko has lost all of that. They're becoming a toy company.
They have. And I mean, which they've always been, but realistically, it was more collectible than toy at one point, right? That brings me to another point. We don't have confirmation yet who these 100 or so people were that were laid off today. If they were artists, that could be really detrimental to the company, because one big artist they let go was Reese O'Brien. One thing that I know that he did that we absolutely loved were Ghost Pops. Ghost the band. We feel like he did a good job because it was something he was passionate about. If you have these artists that are passionate about something and you allow them the creative freedom to, they're still sticking within licensor lines, they're able to get creative with something they're passionate about, and you're delegating these certain items to people who are passionate about these things. How many times can I say passionate? Don't turn this into a drinking game because you'll be dead. If someone is passionate about something, it will show in their work. And I feel like if they're cutting artists, how much creativity can they really tap into if they're reducing their artist workforce?
Well, they were actually going to outsource. That's what we talked about that. They were going to outsource to a different country.
Which is crazy to me, because then you're basically getting like, okay, this is Spider-Man and now he's going to be in a pose like this. But then you have a Spider-Man nerd on your art team who's like, oh my God, remember that scene where he's flying off this rooftop and his one finger's pointing this way or something and it looked so cool? I'm going to bring that to life.
But the overarching problem is that the magic pieces that they had just don't exist anymore. Yeah. That's the biggest issue. And that's what's leading to where we are today with more layoffs. Super sad over this. I mean, this is terrible. We love Funko. We've collected Funko since 2015. Super fans. Spent a lot of money on it. And to see Funko in the state that it's in now is really depressing. And I just want to see things get better. But I'll be honest, with all the news that comes in, all the quarterlies aside, all we seem to see is negative stuff, other than cool NFT drops sometimes.
Yeah.
Your Dexter thing the other day looked pretty cool. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of other Sopranos Funko Pops I'm into, but it just isn't the way it used to be. It used to be you had to have everything. It isn't like that anymore. The magic's gone, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what happened. I do know what happened, but I don't know how it happened. I do know how it happened, but I don't know why it happened. Well, maybe I know that too. I don't know. It just sucks.
It sucks.
All that sucks. Layoffs happened today. It's sad. We want to know your thoughts about all of this and more in the comment section down below.
And if we find anything more out about these layoffs, we will follow up on this video and give you whatever data that we have and even more thoughts. I know that this was sort of jumbled in a very broad video just because we don't know exactly who was laid off. Regardless of anything, it doesn't look good.
In every video, we like to shout out to some of our patrons for Patreon. In this video, we'd like to shout out to John McCormick, Douglas Hunt, Snaps by Reyes, Anita Atkinson Altanea, Chris Grist, Stacy Lehman, Trudy Scarborough Farlow, Jennifer Crawford, Amani McKinney, and Tiffany Anderson. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. We appreciate all of our patrons. You guys rock. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Gastlecast. This upcoming Saturday, which is March the 22nd, we're going to be going live with our patrons. We're going to be hanging out, doing a ton of giveaways, and showing you something that's coming from Mischief Toys that you're going to be really, really stoked over. So check it out, patreon.com/Gastlecast. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, and the little bell. That way you'll know anytime we go live or post brand new content. You don't want to miss our lives. We go live every Sunday between 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern. Come and hang out with us and chat with us through the chat section. All right, that's all we've got. Thank you so much for staying until the end. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.